We'll have fun till the government takes all the fun stuff away. Things like e-cigarettes and semi-automatic rifles and even the Beach Boys. I know Bill's got to be fuming about that already. I'm Steve Green, and this is The Right Angle on the government's never-ending war on fun, brought to you by the paying members of BillWhittle.com. And with me today, of course, Bill Whittle and Scott Ott. All right, gents, our first story comes from the University of Kentucky, where journalism professor Buck Ryan got hit with a sexual misconduct punishment for singing a Beach Boys song. According to Ryan, this is a quote, under Administrative Regulation 6.1, Discrimination and Harassment, University of Kentucky's Title IX coordinator ruled that the song California Girls included language of a sexual nature and was somehow offensive, though no victims were identified. Ryan also says, another quote, for my Chinese students, I sang a song to teach them many differences in Chinese and American culture. The Beach Boys riff was one of 3 takeoffs of popular songs that I sang in my closing remarks. Now, the university investigated Ryan, found no complaints against him, but sanctioned him anyway, saying that his job afforded him 0 due process rights. Bill, shouldn't Kentucky students feel safe now that they're no longer victims of the musical predations of extollers of white male privilege like the Beach Boys and the occasional journalism professor?
I hear stories like this, and I think the world's going to go one of 2 ways, this country anyway. Either these young people are going to wake up to the fact that they've been brainwashed, that they've been deprived of an education, deprived of a childhood, deprived of adulthood, deprived of the ability to make their own decisions, deprived of exposure to new ideas, and mostly deprived of any fun whatsoever. They've been told what they aren't, what they are, what they can be, what they can't be. Either they're going to get tired of this and rebel, or they are going to turn into the generation of monsters and fascists, the likes of which we have not seen in this country ever in its history. Not ever. We have never had an American generation indoctrinated with leftist culture before now. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out whether freedom beats this or not. The fact that they're even having this discussion is beyond me, and the only hope I find sometimes is that this generation is being held among the Gen Xers and Boomers who are the actual professors and not necessarily the students.
Yeah, you know, it's like they're trying to outlaw getting drunk and trying to have sex on campus, and if it weren't for getting drunk and trying to have sex, I would have had to go to class.
They're trying to outlaw everything, Steve. Once you understand that, life gets a lot simpler. Anything that is not forbidden is mandatory.
That's right.
That is how a leftist wants to live, because he has to have control over other people. He's got to have control over every aspect of other people, and he's got to do it for the children or the earth, because we have to save the earth, or whatever they have to come up with to justify this genetic defect that they have and this lust for power over other people's lives and opinions.
Yeah, my own personal theory is that progressivism, whatever it started off as, has now become a socially malignant form of obsessive-compulsive disorder. Everybody's got to be exactly in their place, doing exactly what they're supposed to do. All right, next up, on Wednesday, December 21st, California's new assault weapons ban goes into effect. California needed a new assault weapons ban because people who like to shoot semi-automatic rifles, and the gun makers who supply them, found ways around the old assault weapons ban. So the new and improved ban concerns bullet button rifles, which are themselves the workaround for the previous ban. But there are still... It's crazy. There are still some fun lovers left in California. Since Governor Jerry Brown signed the ban into law last summer, California residents have purchased over 260,000 semi-automatic rifles, almost double what they purchased in all of 2015. And 2015 was a banner year for unbanned rifles. And, you know, I can tell you, as the proud owner of an AR-15, it's the most fun I've ever had shooting a rifle. It's light, dependable, accurate, super easy to care for, might be the most important thing. Scott, California lawmakers, they say it's all about public safety, even though AR-15s are rarely used by criminals. Isn't this really about punishing the wrong kind of people for having the wrong kind of fun?
Well, I mean, Steve, the reason why you're having so much fun with that AR-15 is because you're not using it to assault anyone. And that's, don't you understand? It's an assault rifle. You must assault with it, and therefore it becomes unfun.
I didn't realize I was shooting it wrong. My bad.
That's right. You're probably holding it backward or something.
With the shoulder thing that goes up, yeah.
And by the way, from that previous story about the college professor with the Beach Boys lyrics, I called dibs for my next spy novel on the name Buck Ryan for the hero.
Great
I
name.
just think that whole thing reminded me of years ago we did a story about the college professor got in trouble because of the poster of Mal Reynolds from Firefly.
Yeah.
Who said, if I ever shoot you, son, you'll be awake, you'll be standing, and you'll be armed. Or you'll be awake, you'll be facing
And
me, and you'll
facing
be
me.
armed. That's
Yeah.
right. Anyway, that turned me on to a passion for that show, and so I'm hoping I get some new thing coming. Maybe I'll start reviewing the Beach Boys catalog now and enjoying that as well. But the folks who think in government that they can do something good for you by depriving you of something you see as good for you, I think that just shows, I'm going to give them the best possible spin on this. They want to help. Okay, I don't think in general there are these, Mr. Burns rubbing his hands together and with evil plotting in the halls of government. How can we deprive people of fun? I really think they think that not only will they be able to do something good for people, but others will look at them and then say, look at the guy who did something good for people. And they don't understand that every action causes an equal and opposite reaction. And in this case, just like President Obama became should receive a platinum trophy for being the NRA's greatest gun salesman in history, California has done the same thing here. If the meddlers in government would just figure out, if you want people to not do something, well, then don't tell them not to do it. Don't ban it.
Make them mandatory.
In fact, make it mandatory. That's right. Everybody must buy an AR-15. Well, I'm not going to buy a dang AR-15. I'll tell you that.
I never dreamed of owning one until last summer when, what's his name? Jim Manchin, the Democrat senator from West Virginia, said, and I quote, "Due process is what's killing us." I went to Cabela's that morning looking for an AR-15 to buy. I've been a happy owner ever since. All right, folks, this last story is near and dear to my lungs. Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer has got the vapors over e-cigarettes. He wants a national recall, because of 158 reported explosions, which aren't really explosions, but batteries catching fire on heavily customized e-cigs. That's 158 since 2009 out of an estimated 9 million people who vape. But mostly what Chuck Schumer wants to do is to tax e-cigs just like regular cigarettes, because he thinks Washington needs more money and you need less fun. Because as an ex-smoker, I can tell you two nasty little secrets about nicotine. One, it's really hard to quit. Okay, that part's not a secret. And the other, and you're not supposed to say this, it's really fun to inhale. Nicotine after a big meal, with a big drink, right after sex, it's wonderful. And I still miss it. But it would have been so much easier to quit smoking if vaping had been around for me 15, 16 years ago. It isn't just fun. Vaping saves lives. And it would save even more lives if it weren't for blowhards like Chuck Schumer and their never-ending war on fun. And that's the right angle on that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.